all right. Kansas City, this is your host, Louis George Walker, and we are ready for the BFTAA and more show. That's right, right here in Kansas City on KUAW Radio. Got a little bit of my theme I'll play. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it that are on the video side. But let me bring up my picture. Hey, how you doing? Glad that you're here. That's right. This is the BFTAA and more show. Yeah. We're going to start this off with a little bit of the art of invention. So those of you that are watching me on the video right now, you don't hear this, but on the audio side, we're playing one of the songs that we have as our theme, and it's called The Art of Invention. So yeah, we're talking about inventors. We're talking about the things that make this society better, things that make our lives a little bit easier, and all of that. And we talk about more. This is the BFTAA and more show. And I am glad to be with you. Yes. So we do this every week, every Monday from 5 to 5:45. We talk about technology. We talk about the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. We talk about things going on in the community. So we do a little bit of talking about a lot of different things. I'm going to start up my watch party right now. See if they got me on here live. I don't see the live just yet. Let's see. We'll refresh that. We'll do an F5 on it and see if it shows our live broadcast going out right now. But yeah, this is about the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, who in partnership with the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center started an organization and a radio station called Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. That's KUAW. And that's what we are. This is KUAW Radio right here in the heart of Kansas City, Missouri. And we're broadcasting all across the world right now, and we're just glad to be doing it. So you can pick us up on Facebook. You can pick us up on YouTube. You can pick us up on Periscope, Twitter. We're out there in the ether, and we're waiting to talk with you, to hear from you. You can give us a call at 816-599-6893. That's 816-599-6893. I see my lovely wife Mildred is joined on the to the internet or Facebook page. I'm going to start a watch party so that we may or may not still see her comments right then when we get the watch party going. Yeah, it's something about if you join in on the main link when the watch party's up, then they don't see that. But that's okay. We're going to figure out how to get around it, because we got a couple of computers here. So that'll let me pull it up. More than one way to skin a cat when you start working with these things on the internet. And so we'll work two computers and we'll bring up a different Facebook scene here. That way I can see your comment. But if you guys want to give me a call, 816-599-6893. We can talk about technology, or we can talk about other things that are going on in the community right now. We went out yesterday to an event in the park over in Spring Valley Park, which is a older park in Kansas City. It's been around a while, but there's a lot of history with Spring Valley. It's down on 27th and Brooklyn, or about 28th and Brooklyn. And this group, I think it's One Love KC, that was putting on the event. They had it out there for the kids. They had bouncy houses. They had the car clubs were here in town. Brandon Ellington and Councilman Brandon Ellington and the One Love group, and I'll pull up that that flyer and stuff, because they're going to do another one in August. So every month they've been doing an event this summer. So if you didn't get to check out the last one, hopefully we'll get a chance to see you at the next one. It's going to be going out about the end of August. And they're good community events. It was a family event. They had performers on stage. They had a guy, Clumsy, I think his name was, basketball. He was a poet, and he does a lot of tricks with the basketball. That guy was good. I mean, I watched him and I thought, this guy is really sharp out there. So we had a good time. A lot of people were there. We were keeping socially distanced. Most people were wearing masks. So it was trying to do things the right way that we could bring some entertainment or enjoy some entertainment to the city. They also had the outdoor African Americans that like the outdoors. They gave some kids some fishing rods. There's a little pond out there, so I don't know if they did a little fishing in the ponds, but they were giving fishing rods out to the kids. And it was just a good fun time out, a good family event out. So hopefully you can make the next one, and I will bring that up so that you can see it. But we had a great time down there in Spring Valley Park in Kansas City. So some of you that have been living out, in the suburbs now, we've spread out all over the metro area, may not even remember or know where Spring Valley Park is. But for those of you that kind of grew up in the city, it's down on 27th Street from Woodland or in between Woodland and Brooklyn. And it's a nice park. It's an old park. I went there when I was a kid. So hats off to Brandon Ellington for making that happen out there in the park. It was really an awesome time out there, and it was definitely good. So, yeah. Hey, thanks, David. I'm glad that you like the transcription that they're putting out. That is one of the things that Facebook does, and we make that so that everybody can enjoy this. We may have people who are hard of hearing, and to be able to see the wording going across will help everybody. So hats off to Facebook for, if you click on that, you can bring that transcription in, and it shows up on the screen so people can read and follow along with what's going on. This technology is just doing some awesome things. One of the things that we do here, though, every week, and I don't want to miss it this week, is we always talk about what's going on at NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. So we want to keep our young people and keep the rest of us informed, in tune to things that are going on in the world. But we definitely want to get our young people that are interested, aware of the space, of the technology, and not just going in space, but to be able to design and work with this technology that takes the people to space is very a rewarding career. So for young people, girls and boys that may be interested in it, in engineering and science and technology, mathematics, which is the STEM fields, we like to bring you something to let you know what it's kind of what you can do with that knowledge if you're into space and the science. It's not just science fiction, because a lot of science fictions end up becoming science fact. And people are making great discoveries that even help us back here on Earth that come out of the space program. Yeah, there's been a lot of space medicine, things that have been developed for the astronauts that we are now using every day. But because of the focus and people really driving towards that, they came up with inventions and designs and things that are being used today. And the space program, Exploring Space, has been just a tremendous uplift to all of our standard of living. If it wasn't for them going to space, launching satellites and stuff, you wouldn't even have a GPS. And how many of us could get around in a strange city without a GPS nowadays? I mean, we take it for granted on our phones. We get there, just give me your address and I can find you. So you don't walk around with a lot of maps and trying to read the maps and turning them left and right and all of that, as you can just go into your GPS and it'll direct you right to the location you want to go. All of that comes through space exploration, because man wanted to leave the confines of Earth and be able to do things farther up. So that's why we celebrate that. That's why we like to show what's going on at NASA. So let's sit back, relax, and get ready to check out what's happening at NASA this week. And I'll be right back after it.
Another power-packed spacewalk outside the space station, highlighting a pretty cool comet. And a key piece of Space Launch System hardware is on the move. A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. Our Chris Cassidy and Bob Behnken were back outside the International Space Station on July 16th to outfit one of the station's power channels with new lithium-ion batteries and associated hardware. The spacewalk is one of the few remaining in a 3.5-year effort to upgrade the station's power system. NASA photographer Bill Ingalls recently captured images of Comet Neowise in the early morning skies over Washington, D.C. The comet, which was discovered by and nicknamed after our Neowise spacecraft, has been visible at certain hours with the naked eye and has been spotted by several NASA spacecraft as well as astronauts aboard the space station.
The fact that we can see it is really what makes it unique. It's quite rare for a comet to be bright enough that we can see it with the naked eye or even with just binoculars. The last time we had a comet that was this bright was Comet Hale-Bopp in 1995 and 1996.
Comet Neowise is expected to make its closest approach to Earth on July 22nd. On July 17th, teams at our Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama put the wheels in motion to transport the launch vehicle stage adapter for our Space Launch System rocket to our Kennedy Space Center in Florida in preparation for the first uncrewed Artemis mission around the moon and back. The adapter, which connects the upper and core stages of the rocket, is being transported aboard the agency's Pegasus barge. On July 16th, the joint European Space Agency NASA Solar Orbiter mission released the mission's first data, captured during the spacecraft's first close pass of the Sun. On that flyby last month, Solar Orbiter captured the closest images ever taken of the Sun and had all 10 of its instruments turned on together for the first time, including an American-led instrument designed to pinpoint coronal mass ejections. We are now targeting October 31st, 2021 for the launch of our James Webb Space Telescope from French Guiana due to impacts from the ongoing coronavirus pandemic as well as technical challenges. Engineers recently conducted the first full systems evaluation on Webb since the telescope was assembled into its final form. It's a critical software and electrical analysis on the entire observatory as a single fully connected vehicle. Webb is the largest and most technically complex space science telescope NASA has ever built. The Calypso satellite, a joint venture between NASA and the French space agency CNES, helped provide a unique view of the massive Saharan dust plume that crossed the North Atlantic Ocean in June into parts of the U.S. The animation includes data and imagery from Calypso, a space-based laser that measures clouds and small atmospheric particles, and from National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration satellites. That's what's up this week at NASA. For more on these and other
All right. Yeah, a lot of things going on in space. I tell you, that telescope seemed to be huge. They're launching that up there. I guess they'll be able to see a lot of stars and all the way to the ends of the outer space and everything. But that is what we like to see. And man is steadily, men and women, mankind, is definitely making strides in technology and probing further into space. And I'm wanting to start going in the future to look at some oceanography too. So I think we need to see how far we're going undersea as well as we're going out in space. So stay tuned, keep watching. We want to bring you a lot of news, a lot of information of things that are going on in the world that may be very exciting to you, that you may really like and enjoy and also learn something from. So that's what's happening this week in NASA. So we hope that you enjoyed that. That is a show that we have every week, comes from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, and we're glad to have it, glad to support them and make that possible for you guys to see. All right. So now let's go on. What is some of the news that is going on today? We did lose a couple of civil rights icons over the last weekend. Representative John Lewis and Reverend C.T. Vivian passed away. They passed away on the same day. Let's see, I don't know if it has the date in here. The Reverend C.T. Vivian was 95 years old, and these are two men that had actually walked and participated in the protests that went on in the 60s. He walked with Dr. Martin Luther King and with some of the other greats of civil rights history. So we lost two more icons. So the people that did a lot for us in the 60s, that brought a lot of change about, and that our protesters today are standing on the shoulders of, we need to pay them homage. And I've got a little tribute that was put out by the Career Communications Group, Mr. Tyrone Taborn's company. They had the Black Engineer of the Week. They have Diversity Magazine. They also gave us the name, or we're using the name that they had came up with Black Family Technology Awareness Week. And we decided to make a whole year-long thing. So we call it the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, so that we could do things in the African-American community year-round. But Mr. Taborn produces a lot of videos, a lot of things to inspire us, to help not just young people and college-bound people, but even people in industry today. So we want to watch this tribute to the late Representative John Lewis. You have to read along with it, but I hope that you will enjoy this, and I'll bring this on right now, and we'll be back as soon as that's over.
Another power-packed spacewalk outside the space station, highlighting a pretty cool comet. And a key piece of Space Launch System hardware is on the move. A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. Another power-packed spacewalk outside. Chris Cassidy and Bob Behnken were back outside the International Space Station.
It's on right now, and we'll be back as soon as that's over.
Another power-packed spacewalk outside the space station, highlighting a pretty cool comet. And a key piece of
a tireless fighter for others. This is John Lewis, yes. First started protesting back in 1961. All right, yes, that was a tribute to John Lewis, and we do appreciate the people at Career Communications Group for making that all possible. Yes. So we want to remember those that came before us, those that laid the groundwork that we all benefit from today. Yes, because if it wouldn't be for them, we wouldn't be doing what we are doing right now. See if I can move that along. At Career Communications Group for making that all possible. There we go. Yes. So all right. So we're back. Yes, and this is the BFTAA and More show, and I'm glad to be with you. Yes, that was a tribute to Representative John Lewis, so we want to definitely pay homage to those that have gave the utmost for us. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope that you like that, And this is still the BFTAA and More show, so we've got some other things to talk to you about as we go through this afternoon. It's a nice day. It was raining today in Kansas City. Woke up this morning to thunderstorms and rain coming down, and we needed the rain. I happen to be a fisherman. I want the lakes to be up. I don't want it to scatter out the fish too much, but we do need the water, and it also is good for our garden. We've got some tomatoes growing and a few other things, so we're really glad that we would have that. The other thing that we have going on, I want to talk about that the internet is important to all of us. So some of you and all of you that are watching now know about the internet. You've been on it, you're familiar with it. But we have to still continue to encourage others who are still not using the technology, not technology literate, to move forward, to go ahead and embrace this. And it doesn't matter how old you are or that you have disabilities or anything like that, that you need to still be looking at getting familiar with using a computer. Not just using your cell phone, but using a computer. The cell phones are fine, but they're not the same as having a laptop or a desktop. And you got tablets now that work, that got a lot of power. So I say get used to a lot of them so that you can move from one to another and continue working, because, we use I've got some statistics here, and it says using the internet to look for a job reduces the time spent unemployed by 25%. So if you want to cut a quarter of your time of looking for a job, being unemployed by a quarter, just using the internet can get you employed faster. You see, with the economy, we have 15 million more broadband lines in the U.S. There's a gain in GDP of $50 billion. So securing 15 million more broadband lines in the U.S. can increase the GDP by $50 billion. Yeah, by getting more people online, we'll be able to produce more, we'll be able to do more. It says in government, 54% of U.S. adults went online to get information about or to get involved in the 2010 midterm elections. So we got elections coming up in 2020. A lot of us should use the internet for getting information, to get involved, to help out. As of January 2014, GED tests will only be available online. So that's been 6 years now, so you have to take your GED online. Broadband-enabled remote health care monitoring can save $197 billion in health care costs over 25 years. And a lot of people are using more distance or telemedicine, as they used to call it. distant medicine, robotic medicine. They're using that now more than ever with this coronavirus, and we're glad of it. You know, you're able to order food from home. You've got a lot of touchless transactions that can be made that you don't have to touch another person with. You can do it online. You can receive the package and all of that without touching another person. Now, some people say good and bad because it does make us a little farther apart because we're not interacting with people. But the benefits are that we do get to get a few more things done with it. And it doesn't matter, you know, who you are or what you do. It can always be improved by using a little bit more technology. It says for us seniors, and I say us, you know, those 65 years and up. Yeah, looking at that, and this is from 2014, or stats that were based after the last census, 2011, 2010. It says 59% of seniors don't use the internet versus only 6% of adults 18 to 29 that don't use it. 57% of seniors over 65 have no internet at home. That's something that is making seniors get left behind, and some may say that's not a problem, but really it is, because you start losing the contact, you start losing the benefits that being online can help you with. So that is one thing that you want to make sure that you try and stay up on. Even as you get older, you still want to continue to connect, continue to use your mind, use your brain to do some things. It says of the less educated, adults without high school diplomas, 57% don't use the internet, which versus just 6% of adults with at least a college degree. So it says those people who haven't graduated from high school, 57% of them don't use the internet. Now, does that help them get better, or does that cause them to keep getting farther behind? 63% of those that don't have a high school diploma don't have internet at home, versus 11% of adults with at least a college degree that have internet at home. There's maybe a correlation there. We don't know that those two are definitely connected, but think about it. You know, if you leave school early, you're more likely to not use the internet, okay? If you don't graduate from high school, you're more likely to not have it at home. Now it talks about lower income people. Adults earning less than $30,000 a year, 38% don't use the internet versus 3% of adults that make over $75K. So there's a lot of lower income people that do use the internet. And the libraries, a lot of community centers and stuff are making that available. If you don't have the internet at home, at least start taking some classes at your local library. Take a class at the community centers. Learn and start using what's available out there. Yeah, you may not have the funds now, but if you start using the internet and doing your job searches, taking classes online, you may be able to get to a point to afford the internet and to do things and to move further ahead. Disabled people, 46% don't use the internet, and 59% of disabled people don't have the internet at home. That is something that we should not have, because the internet is important even to those that may have a disability. Whether you have a physical disability, a mental disability, you still would benefit from having the internet. Most people. Now, there may be some handicaps or some mental disabilities that would totally make it where you couldn't use it, but for most people, having a disability shouldn't be a reason to not be able to get on the internet and to use the internet. And that's a thing that we definitely have to see about improving. They have ways for the blind to use it. If you notice on this feed that you're seeing transcription, so that as I'm speaking, the words are being converted into text. And if you were not able to see, what do I want to say, hear my speech, you can read it. So that is a benefit. So you could be on the internet, and even though you're not hearing, but you can see it. And they have computers now built into most Windows platforms. I don't know about Apple, is that they can convert speech or text to speech. So you can be blind and still use a computer. Got a phone call coming in, and I don't know where my phone is. Just a second. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, missed that call. If you call me, please take a second and call me back. I didn't have the phone here in the cradle, so I will be able to answer you. I didn't want to answer it online because I didn't really know who was calling and what it was about. So if you just call me, give me a call back. Okay, here we go. Yes, this is KUAW Radio. All righty. Let me see if I can bring you up online. Just a second. All right, caller. You say you have a question? Hello, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Turn your radio down
hear
and,
you.
and listen over the phone because there's a
Can
delay.
you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Well, I have a question.
Okay. What is your question?
My question is, you are talking about, yes, you are talking about technology. You have a delay.
Yes, there is a delay. That's why I say you have to turn your computer down and just talk over the phone. Otherwise,
All right.
you're going to be hearing
Now,
things later. So turn your computer
are
down.
talking about technology and the internet.
Yes.
That's my main thing is everyone in the United States need internet.
Yes.
This is one thing the federal government can step up and pay for internet for everybody in the United States because we need it. Now that the schools are needing internet, and so that would be a good way, just open it up and make it free for everyone. That's what I think.
Well, that would be a good thing. Of course, you'd have to get Congress to pass that to pay for it because somebody would have to pay the internet service providers and the companies that are providing the internet. They could make it free. At the same time, it's a lot of things that they'd have to work out. Not to say that it can't be done, but we really have to have our minds set on it because if you make the internet free for everybody, then the cost has to be shared by everybody. If you follow what I'm saying.
Yes, that's fine. But I just thought I would put that out there because it's needed, and especially for schools now.
Yes.
And that way, that if they just open it up for everybody, they don't have to worry about some don't have internet and some do.
Yes, and we're starting to see now, that's one thing the coronavirus did bring out is the fact that not having the internet at home is definitely a detriment for school because school starting, if you were in a community where the kids were used to doing classes at home and having internet and having computers at home, then they could do, school could just roll right on.
Yeah.
As they talked in certain areas, even around Kansas City here, certain school districts around here, it's no problem doing the classes online. That students already have been taking laptops and tablets home and they've been working with the school and all of that. Now in the Kansas City school district, well, there's a problem because everybody doesn't have internet at home. And in other school districts around, I would bet that in Raytown and in Center and some of the others, where the economic, the family's incomes aren't as high.
Are you still there?
Yes.
Oh, you know that it's too bad that they closed Banneker School because Banneker was one of the schools in the inner city that the children had tablets to take home, and they was, I'm sure when the school closed, when they went to other schools, they kind of probably was behind because they was already ahead because they was ready with the tablets and the teachers,
Yes.
that's what they did.
And that's a thing that all schools should have been doing. Now we're saying they really should do it.
Right.
But the schools, that wasn't a priority in a lot of schools, and that the funding went other places, or who knows exactly who made the decisions. But that
Right.
goes back to a lot of the parents having to show up at these board meetings and knowing what to ask for and what you say is important for your school. And not just, let schools roll on, because, our kids in some of the urban school districts are being left behind. They're being left behind technology-wise, and that is a big hindrance, because that can hurt you the rest of the way. Like you get behind with that, and now you're getting behind in math and science.
The Congress, or the parents, or the principals, superintendents, to get together and talk about getting the internet for all the kids.
Yes.
But like I said, it should be done through probably some kind of federal grant, bond, something. I don't know.
Or it can even be done
that's a good
locally.
that you had. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling. We really appreciate it. I know this caller personally, so thank you for calling in, though, and expressing what's going on in your mind. And you, too, can call in to KUAW. Just a second. Our phone-in number is 816-599-6893. That's 816-599-6893. You can call in and join the conversation. If you want to talk about the internet and getting more broadband, and that's been one of the goals of our association, the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, is to make families aware of the need to have broadband internet in your home. That'd be something that you should be looking for. You should ask who's the provider in the neighborhood. When you look to buy a house, as you go out, we got to show I got the keys, and one of the things you want to talk to your realtor about is say that you want to know what service providers are providing internet in that area. That should be one of the things that you look at. Or do they even have internet in your area? Because if you buy a house and you're out somewhere where you don't have internet at all, like some of the rural areas right now, people are like, hey, what do we do? They can't send their kids to school, and they can't do distance learning because they don't have the internet in that area. So it's not just the inner city, it's even rural areas of the United States that don't have broadband access that they should have, don't have enough of it. And we've been years in laying fiber and stretching lines and coming up with faster speeds, but still there's a large gap of people that don't have the internet at all. So for some of us, we can get a gigabit internet. We could download the Bible in about 2 seconds. But for others, they don't even have dial-up capabilities. Or if, at best, they'd have dial-up, and I don't even know if there's companies still providing dial-up service, internet dial-up. I mean, maybe in the rural areas, they could dial up. But, when you dial up, you talk about slow. Now, some of you may be too young to remember, but, the internet of the days of our telephones, even though it was fantastic and we were glad we had it, I sure don't want to go back to it and stuff, because we talk about having 200 megabit downloads and gigabit downloads. And back when we first started in this back in the 90s, we were happy to get, 19K. 19,000 bits per second, not in the millions at all. We were getting thousands. 56K was a speedy connection back then. So if you tried to download something like the Bible, you'd have to start it and go to bed and see if it had finished by the time you got up in the morning. So those were the speeds that we had. So dial-up is really not a good option today. I don't think you could really even do much of anything on the internet. Maybe read some emails. As long as they didn't send many pictures on it, you would be all right. But it'd be almost like just a text machine, because now we're just sending so much data over the lines. But that is one of the things that I think we should talk about in the future is how do we get more broadband around to more of the community. I also want to talk to you. We are an affiliate of the Cheryl Underwood radio show. Cheryl Underwood is on here. If you listen on our audio side, which is with the TuneIn app, if you've got the TuneIn app on your phone or your tablet, you can go to TuneIn and search KUAW, and you will pick us up, and you can hear all the audio broadcasts that we put out. We broadcast 24/7, music, news, information, all of that's happening all the time. So we're not just on when you see us on Facebook Live or see us on YouTube Live or Periscope or Twitter. No, we're on the air, and we're on just the audio side. So if you have a Google Smart speaker or Amazon Alexa, that little smart speaker, you just tell it to play KUAW, and you can hear us. You can hear the Cheryl Underwood Show every day from 12 till 2. You can have what we call Lunch with Cheryl. So we hope that you would check out the Cheryl Underwood Show right here on KUAW Radio from 12 to 2 on your Amazon speaker, on your Google speaker, on the TuneIn app, or you can just go to www.kuaw.org and hit the play button, and you can listen to Cheryl Underwood Show. We started a new show this weekend, the Jamal Banks Show. So if you want to hear good interviews, some good motivational, inspirational music, he played some gospel, real uplifting show and motivating show, interviewed some of the gospel artists and all that. It's a 1-hour show. We're playing it on Friday right after Cheryl Underwood, and we play it on Sunday at 1 o'clock. It's the Jamal Banks Show. So continue to listen and check out the Jamal Banks Show. He's a new addition. He did his first show last weekend right here at KUAW. So I'm going to take a quick break, and I will be right back. You're listening to the BFTAA and More Show, and we'll get ready to wrap this up. Okay, yeah, there it is. Now you can hear me. All right, we're back, and we're glad that you came and tuned in today. As I said, I want you to continue to listen to KUAW Radio, listen to our shows, as we are an affiliate of the Cheryl Underwood Show. We're an affiliate with Blues Time in the City with Rosine Bailey, and we just added a new syndicated show is the Jamal Banks Show. And we also have the Warren Ballantyne Show that's on every day from 11 to 12. So Rosine Bailey, Blues Time in the City, you can pick him up on Saturdays and Sunday, 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock on Saturday, and I believe we've got him at 6 o'clock on Sunday. I'll double check that. But check out Rosine Bailey, 2 hours of the blues, good interviews, good blues music. So if you're into the blues, and who isn't, yeah, you want to check that out. So we're doing that, and we're doing a lot more here at KUAW Radio. We got a lot of good people doing good things, and we want you to remember the Black Radio Solidarity. And one of the things we want to do is to make sure that we get people to the polls, that people register to vote. We encourage you to get registered to vote. Yes, we want you to turn up and turn out. That's right. We want to have a turn up and turn out for the election this year. So Black Radio Solidarity is doing a lot of good things and bringing all of Black radio together. Also, we want you to call in to the Cheryl Underwood Show. She has a 800 number that you can dial and tell them that you like her show and that you're listening to it on KUAW Radio in Kansas City. That's right. So if you want to call and let her know that you're listening to her from Kansas City, Missouri on KUAW, dial 1-855-SHERYL-1. That's 1-855-SHERYL-1. And you can record a message and give a shout out and just tell them that, you love and you've been listening to Cheryl Underwood on KUAW Radio. Well, that's all we have for today. I didn't get to get into some of the conversation I wanted to talk about business-wise, but we did enjoy talking with you today and showing you the tributes we had to Representative John Lewis and in his passing, that one of the giants is gone. But we're glad that you joined us today. We'll be on the air again next Monday. That's right, next Monday, 5 o'clock to 5:45 for the BFTAA and More show. Now, I want you to stay tuned for 6 o'clock with Michael Long and Shifting Paradigms. Shifting Paradigms is a very good show, and it'll be coming on at 6 p.m. right here. So we'll be on Facebook. We're on YouTube, KUAW Radio on YouTube, KUAW_radio on Twitter and Periscope. So if you want to check us out there, we're there. So we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, and we're on Periscope. So we've got more connections that we're going to make, and we're going to try and get our videos out to more places. So if you want to be a part of this, you can get your show on KUAW Radio also. We'll be glad to have you. Thanks for listening. Get in touch with us. Send us an email, KUAW985@gmail.com. Let's grow this network. Talk to you again next week. Have a good day. Bye-bye.